will carry out any threats they issue.
Detective Palmer and the Dallas police have been struggling to contain a rise in ABT violence.
I think we can limit them. We can be vigilant. We may slow them down, but I don't think we'll ever stop them.
But as police pressure the gang, the ABT fights back. On the night of December the 18th, 2004, sheriff's deputies in Cloudcroft, New Mexico, responded to a domestic disturbance call. When the deputies arrived, they confronted an ABT member who had just murdered his pregnant girlfriend. The ABT member shot one of the deputies.
We have a shot fired. Bob, you okay?
While the deputy searched for his partner, the ABT member opened fire again.
Six, shots fired. I've got a man down. Oh!
The second deputy wounded the ABT member and, after putting him in handcuffs, shot him dead with a bullet to the chest. The killing outraged the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, and they demanded revenge. From within prison, Thompson allegedly composed a coded letter approving the killing of the sheriff's deputy. An ABT meeting was assembled to plan the murder. Undercover federal agents, posing as ABT members, infiltrated the gang and set up a hidden camera. The New Mexico ABT leaders had no idea they were being recorded. The FBI arrested the gang members before they could carry out their plan. They charged 2 ABT gang members with conspiracy to kill a law enforcement officer. Both men received 10 years in prison. Although James Thompson was accused of writing the letter approving the killing, his trial ended in a hung jury, and he was acquitted of all charges. The FBI foiled this plot, but the ABT has proved they will go after anyone, including the police. Now, a rival white prison gang threatens the ABT. And Thompson steals a tactic from his rivals.
What's going on?
And steers the ABT in a new direction. The Aryan Brotherhood of Texas is a prison gang whose power extends far beyond prison walls. Inside the prisons, the ABT recruits the most violent white men with the promise of making money and belonging to a brotherhood.
You got to handle your business. You have no choice. You have to represent. It gives you something that makes you not want to be a bitch, per se. You know what I mean? It gives you a reason to fight over and above anything else. Because now I'm representing the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, you know, and I've got brothers that depend on me.
Recruits sign a blind faith commitment promising unquestioning loyalty to the Brotherhood for life. And recruits are lining up to join the ABT in alarming numbers. Watchdog groups like the Anti-Defamation League monitor racist activity and are working to understand the growth of racist prison gangs. Because the gangs guard membership information, exact numbers cannot be known. But it is believed that 1 in every 10 inmates in the US is affiliated with a racist prison gang.
Several things are fueling the growth. Success breeds success in some respects. So if these gangs are perceived as respected in the prisons, they can attract more recruits. The fact that these gangs basically deal in meth makes them very attractive to parts of the country where meth is increasingly becoming the drug of choice. And so they can cook and sell and distribute meth. They get more followers that way as well. People kind of want to get in on the action.
But the ABT doesn't accept everyone. Those who don't make it often join Texas's second largest white prison gang, the Aryan Circle, whose violence rivals that of the ABT. But unlike the ABT, which puts profit over ideology, the Aryan Circle claims to promote white pride and separatism as its top values. Greg Freeman, the leader of the Aryan Circle, has been in prison for 15 years, serving time for a murder he committed when he was 16.
We believe in separatism. We have the right to an identity, that we shouldn't be shamed for it, shouldn't be guilty for being white. We believe in the preservation of our heritage, our culture, our traditions, and we want to make sure they stay.
Freeman joined the Aryan Circle after entering prison.
When people come to prison, as soon as they come here, the racial lines are drawn. There is no, I'm not gonna acknowledge my race. If you're black, you're immediately going to the black side of the unit. You segregate yourself. It's a natural segregation. In the world, you don't have to, because you can duck and dodge and do your own thing. But here, you're forced to deal with it.
He was attracted to the Aryan Circle's white separatist beliefs over the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, who will work with other races if it means making money.
It's almost a crime to have an identity if you're white in a free world. It's really a simple matter that as a race, our numbers are dwindling. We're going to be extinct for too long. Not my lifetime, maybe not my grandson, but it's coming.
Unlike the male-dominated ABT, the Aryan Circle sells itself not as a brotherhood, but as a family that includes female members. Cheryl Buchanan, also known as Wicked, is one of 4 board members of the Aryan Circle. She oversees all Texas Aryan Circle members in the free world. Wicked keeps the gang's secret paperwork and controls the flow of communication from leaders in prison to soldiers on the outside.
I just have a lot of letters. They're from the federal penitentiary. They're from the Texas prison system. They're from the free world. They're from the out of state.
Her fiance, Brett Gregory, is also a member.
We are probably the most organized white group, both inside and outside the penitentiary. We are individuals with white separatist ideas and values. We are for the betterment and the procreation of the white race and for family.
Both Wicked and Gregory have done their own time in prison.
I got busted with heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine.
Gregory was 18 when he was incarcerated. He credits prison with forging his white supremacist beliefs.
You know, you go to the penitentiary and you pick a side, and that is the side that you were stuck with. And a lot of whites, you know, they don't have really a choice. You know, you have to, you know, represent yourself, or it's going to be bad.
Wicked and Brett are passing their white supremacist ideals to their children.
Hitler! Come here, boy.
They have even named their dog after one of their heroes.
He's really gentle. He's a loving dog. Hitler, come here.
The couple claim they are now working to change the violent and criminal image of the Aryan Circle.
We believe in being positive, productive members of society, you know, sticking with our own race, and teaching people to live healthy lives outside the walls.
Though the Aryan Circle professes to no longer being a criminal organization, Deputy Mike Squires is skeptical.
I really don't buy it because, you know, hey, if AC wants to get out of the game of being a criminal group, hey, I'm all for it. But do I really think that's going to happen? No, I don't.
Either way, the mainstream message of the Aryan Circle is only fueling its growth in membership. And Thompson, of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas, is looking to copy that success. His faction of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas is trying to distance itself from the brutal history of the gang. The savage and sometimes random killings, the wholesale trafficking and abuse of methamphetamine. Thompson claims he wants to take over the gang to push the ABT away from illicit drug trafficking and into the mainstream.
After making a lifelong commitment to the Brotherhood, quitting wasn't an option. So the only option I had was, go to the top and change it.
Instead of pushing drugs, they'll sell ABT merchandise.
I have projects that I'm going to push into it, which is the clothing line, jewelry.
Legitimate businesses, just as best we can. Manufacturing t-shirts, selling prints.
It's a way to keep the money flowing in without being bothered by the police.
I can venture out into roofing, plumbing, anything that a bro's got a talent at doing, I can build a business around him. He can own that business in a certain amount of time, and then he can pay a due to the corporation.
The ABT captain, known as Peanut, is the new model gang member.
I'm in the process of learning how to be a crane operator, and I'm strictly legitimate. I don't do drugs no more. I'm clean. I own my own house. I've only been out about 9 months, and I've already bought my own house, bought my own car. Got a good job.
The next move in Thompson's power struggle is to stage a very corporate-style coup. They trademark the name and symbol of the Aryan Brotherhood of Texas. The white supremacist hate gang has become a brand. If and when the ABT ever goes fully legitimate, it will still be an all-white, closed society. But the ABT has always been driven more by money than by principle.
Who invented the telephone? Who invented the automobile? Who invented the airplane? Who invented the computer? Who invented electricity? All the major inventions of the world. Who created them? Where'd they come from? Come from a white person.
And law enforcement welcomes the new public face of the ABT.
There's increased watching their activities, there's increased prosecution. They basically put themselves in a position where law enforcement has the ability to strike a final blow